Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. All right, we're going to start off with an article called Envy Shapes Destiny of Men, Nations, History. As we deal with this lecture on envy, I want to look at this. All right, we're gonna start down here where the minister says in what is this? Unger's Bible Dictionary, we read this of envy. Is that discontented and mortified feeling which arises in the selfish heart in view of the superiority of another, nearly tantamount to jealousy. That malignant passion which sees in another qualities which it covets and hates their possessor. He says, from this alone, it should be clear that envy is a complex thing. Complex though it is, it can be understood. Let us take our time and take a good look at this thing found in the heart, in the human heart, called envy. As we do, we remember it is part of evil in general, which was permitted by Allah. What Allah permits, He permits for His supreme reason. Oh, let me read that last sentence again. What Allah permits, because He has an active and a permissive will. What Allah permits, He permits for His supreme reason. Now, this is not to say that envy is good in itself, he's saying, but this is to say that there is some good purpose in Allah Himself that envy serves, as it is part of the whole of evil permitted by Allah. Now, side note, I want us to take this sentence here and look at our lives. I want us to analyze some things that goes on in our lives or that has went on in our lives. Let's read it again. This is not to say that envy is good in itself. Is there a situation? Is there a person? Is there a business thing? Is there something in your life where you feel from your small-minded, our small, limited perspective that this in itself isn't good, but this is to say that there is some good purpose in Allah Himself that envy serves, that your circumstance or your situation or the person you think is bad serves, as it is part of the whole of evil permitted by Allah. This tells us that we must take a good look as we ponder at this thing called envy. And if you're not dealing with any envy in your life and you feel like this don't apply to you, well, look at anything in your life that may seem like it's something that you don't like or that you don't want or that is not of good, and we must then what? Analyze and look at it, because it's a part of something that Allah has permitted for His supreme reason. He says a good look in this sense is a look corresponding to Allah's way of looking. Since evil in general and envy in particular could not exist but by Allah's permission. So whatever it is, it wouldn't even exist but by Allah's permission. So don't trip too much on it. Envy becomes possible when two people become compatible of mutual comparison. It is how one compares his or herself to the other that determines whether or not envy occurs. Comparison. There it is. That's the root of this. Comparison. Again, envy is a drive or an urge to compare oneself individually, because I don't say individually, with another. To compare oneself individually is to compare oneself to another in an unlikable, alien, hostile, producing way. It is an envy producing comparison. Invidious once had the meaning of envy. The envier sees the possessions of others, both material and immaterial. So let me stop right there. This is me speaking now. If the envier sees the possessions of others, both material and immaterial, you paying attention to that other than what God has already blessed you with, especially if you envy of it. See, I think that envy also comes from a lack of gratitude for what a lack of love for what the God has already done for you. Because when you're so consumed and grateful for what the God has done for you, you have no reason to be envious of what he's given others. Ain't got time to pay attention to what somebody else have and what they got going on, because you're so consumed with what God got going on with you. And if you ain't got nothing going on, don't be mad at them. You need to be mad at yourself. Ain't no mystery God that done said, I want to bless him. And then this is a law of cause and effect. It's something I got to improve to have something going on. So it's on me. The envier would like to see the one he or she envies dispossessed or deprived of his or her possessions. Come on, man. The envier don't even want you to have it. Moreover, the envier would also like to see the envied humiliated. And or hurt for having had those possessions. Now, let's look at this sentence. Moreover, the envier would also like to see the envy humiliated or hurt for having those possessions. It didn't say because they did something to them. It didn't say the envier would also like to see them hurt because you hurt them first. It didn't say the envier would also like to see them hurt because you did something to them first. No, because you had those possessions, material or immaterial. So what is it saying? You ain't even got to do nothing to somebody, to the envier. You ain't even got to do nothing to them. What you're doing to them is really just accepting your own being yourself and letting the God grow you and bless you and get your and as you get those possessions, that alone triggers somebody who's underdeveloped and now they seek to envy you. Man, that's a dangerous thing. Because you ain't doing nothing wrong. You just receiving the blessings that Allah God has given you. And here it is. Pops up a problem. So he says, yet the envier wants no envy in return. The envier feels that what you have in some ways injures himself or herself. Now think over that. The envier feels that what you have in some ways injures himself or herself. Regardless to how justly you may have gained what you have. You may have spent years developing that skill or saving for that house that you have. It makes no difference to the envier. He or she feels pained that you have what you have. The envier feels a lack of, or feels in some way inferior to you for the fact that you have whatever you have. Vindictiveness, malice, aggression, unjust anger, self-torment, and selfishness are elements of the frame of mind and state of emotion of the envious person. Now, of course, many of us probably listening to this and we think about somebody else. But let's first check ourselves, man. Make sure we ain't been that envious person that's mad somebody else got something and we don't want them to have it. They don't work hard for that. They don't spend years developing it and you feel a certain type of way. If you feel it, because, hey, man, you ain't none of us, exempt from anything. So if we feel it, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Man, where this coming from? Am I jealous? We look at it. What is the root? It's saying here, compare. What am I comparing myself to? Is my comparison just? Is it a reality? Because I may be comparing myself to somebody who 15 years in the game and I'm 3 years in the game. I shouldn't be comparing anyway. Let me self-check. Let me write down 10 things that the God has done for me. Come on. So once we know the root of the envy, comparison, lack of gratitude, we don't want the heart to get too hardened with that, because he said an envious person will murder you, will kill you. You don't want to go there. And it may not always be physical. They may try to kill your reputation. They may try to kill a relationship, cut you off from something. They may try to kill off your business. They may try to kill off something. It may not always be. Now, it does get to the physical, but they may want to do it in another way. Kill your success, So we got to just be mindful of that. So I just want to open up with that article, man. Again, this article is called Envy Shapes Destiny of Men, Nations, History. This is important. Why is it so important? Because when we're building things, a business, okay, a nation, a community, envy is a key factor that has brought down many nations. Many don't, you envious of your partner, envious of your teacher. Come on, envious of your student. This has brought down things. So you can have all your SOPs in place. You got your products in place. You got your team in place. You got all this in place. But what we don't have in place is something in the heart. Oh, man, it's something in the heart that's not in place that'll bring down all that good business stuff we want to talk. We're always talking about building. Oh, we need to build it. We need to be, where the school, where this at, where this at. Negro, if we had all that, but still have envy, if we done built all that and still have jealousy, it'll be brought down anyway. It's going to fall anyway eventually. It's inevitable. So envy, man, is undetectable. It's undetectable. The minister said in another article, you can't really put a picture to envy. You don't know how, you can't describe the look of an envious person. Happy, you can do that. Sad, anger, grief. But envy, it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to detect. It may come in a form of a compliment. Not even knowing behind the scene they envy you like a mug. Not knowing they envy you like a mug, boy. Well, how do you fight that? I don't know. You know what I thought to myself? Because growing up in this, man, naturally you get guidance and you get things. Oh, brother, you got to be careful, brother. The way you coming up. And I would hear it. Brother, people envious. And I'd be like, all right, yes, sir. You know what I mean? Because I ain't looking for it. Not looking for it. But, I eventually seen it and experienced it. But I ain't got time to be sitting here wondering and trying to pick out which one is envious. Come on, man. I'll run myself crazy trying to figure out, is this a real handshake? Do this brother really love me? This brother really, man, I ain't that smart. I ain't that smart. I grew up in Oak Cliff High School. You know what I'm saying? Barely paid attention in school. Come on now. I'm going to just keep it real with you. I ain't that intelligent. But what I do know is that the God, he's all knowing. He's all seeing. So if I just strive to stay with him, he'll take care of it. He'll maneuver me in the right way. He'll bring the right thoughts. Hell, he can control their thoughts too now. So we ain't got to try to figure it out. You keep doing you. Keep, in the best right way as you can. Keep your hand in the Lord's hand. And just like the minister said, you can't do nothing with me. But then he clarified it, not because of me, but because I'm with the God, because God is with me. So it ain't really me that you dealing with. It's the God. If I'm with the God, though. So long as I'm with the God, I'm striving, I'm doing, you doing, Allah gonna take care of that. Because look, nothing happens. What? Well, with his permission, nothing happens without his permission. And look, if he permitted it, guess what a Muslim is? One who submits their will to do the will of God. Okay, so if it was his will, okay, here it is. I'm like, all right, here what it is. Because it ain't gonna happen if he don't permit it, if it ain't permitted, or if it ain't his active will. It wouldn't happen anyway. So I ain't got time to be sitting here figuring out and spending all night, up at night, wondering which one of y'all, which one may be envious. No, you keep working, man. Keep working. Keep your eyes on the prize. All right, that's my little piece. But again, that lecture, that article, man, go get it from Brother Jabril, Final Call newspaper. It's called Envy Shapes Destiny of Men, Nations, and History. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
This world into the place we are hearing out of the vision of Minister Louis Farrakhan. And with that, if we could receive our minister with a due reception.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. My dear brothers and sisters, thank you so very much for your presence tonight. It's always a joy to be here and to see you, although we're moving almost at whirlwind pace, and we have not had a chance to rest hardly a moment in the last 7 weeks, and it doesn't look like we'll get any for several more. Tomorrow, if it is the will of Allah, we will be on Primetime Live on ABC. I think that's channel 7.
Yes, sir.
And we had to deliberate for a long time to decide which of the many shows that we are being offered now to finally take. But white folk are very nervous and disturbed, as they should be, and we should be doubly disturbed at the condition of our people.
Yes, sir.
And nobody is addressing the concerns of black people adequately. And as a result, our people are dying at an extremely inordinate rate.
Yes, sir.
Our young people are under assault. And there is a buildup of hatred in this country for our people. I'm sure you can see it as you move throughout the cities and interact with white people. There's just a growing fear and hatred of black people.
Yes, sir.
In fact, there was a show on CBS a few days ago talking about the tragedy that 25% of our young men are either in jail or prison, on parole or under court supervision. they say that this represents a lost generation of black people. And if something is not done, we will lose another generation. And this CBS report said that America has her own apartheid, and that this is a tragedy by any stretch of the imagination that a whole group of people within a country as great as this should be suffering and dying as black people are suffering and dying. And government is not talking about our suffering. That's right. And the leaders, unfortunately, are not really talking about it. That's right. I think Mr. John Jacobs of the Urban League, in his State of the Black America report, was very definitive in the condition of our people, but it doesn't seem as though his words have triggered other black leaders to be very passionately concerned about our future. Well, it is left to us who follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who knew and know that that man evolved a program for our people. And it's the only program that there is put forth by any leader that would satisfy the total requirements of a nation of people with an ever-growing population. If it is the will of Allah, I don't really know how this show will go tomorrow, but we will be questioned by one of the toughest reporters in the country, Mr. Sam Donaldson, who I believe gave so much hell to the presidents that they offered him a primetime television show to get him away from the White House Corps of Reporters. He really was the toughest reporter on Reagan for 8 years. And I don't think Mr. Bush wanted to be bothered with him. So tomorrow he and Diane Sawyer will question us. Now I want to go right to the subject matter because I am a little exhausted and I didn't want to disappoint you. Envy is one of the worst kinds of spiritual diseases. Any one of us who have some gift or quality that others wish they had or want, it is so sad that people will literally hate you for what only God could give you. An envious person is really a devil. No matter what the color of the skin, if your heart is poisoned with the disease of envy, you have become in your person a devil. Why is that? Because you or those who are afflicted with that disease are not just hateful of the person whom they envy, but they are hateful of the God who gave that person that which they have, for which they are being envied. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that an envious person is the worst kind of person. That's the devil. Because an envious person will kill you. Now, that makes you a devil. Because if God is the giver of life and the giver of gifts, and someone is envious of you because of some gift that God gave you, and that envy reaches the point where it becomes hatred, and then hatred gives way to murder, then that person who would rob you of the life that God gave you because of a gift that God gave you. That's the worst kind of human being. Now, each of us in our lives have met jealousy and we have met envy. In a magazine called Psychology Today that came out in December 1989, in an article by Mrs. Jane Ciabattari titled, "Will the 1990s be the age of envy?" The title on the cover was put this way: "Envy will turn you upside down." Boy, that's a heavy statement. Envy will turn you upside down. She writes, as the door closes on the era of having it all. Well, that era has never opened it up for us. She said, we are ripe for a dangerous epidemic of envy. Are you susceptible? Now, we have never had it all, but everything that we have had, every organization that we have built has been destroyed from within because of envy. So even though we don't have it all, we'll never get it all unless we can uproot and destroy this disease of the heart called envy. Now, this woman described the state of envy that many people would degenerate into. And this is why on Sunday I read from the Holy Quran a chapter of refuge. Because right now, we as Muslims, and I in particular, have to seek refuge totally in God from the evil of the mischief of created things. When a person is envious or hateful, they can take that which is natural, created by God, and turn it into that which creates mischief. They can take our nature, given by God, and with a wicked intent, turn the nature and make it respond to a call that leads it to mischief making. Terrible. Allah says in the Quran that we should seek refuge in Allah from a day when darkness overspreads the earth. Meaning that people will become so confused that they will not respond properly to right guidance. They will actually hate truth, so that darkness will cover them, and then gross darkness, so that a people who are envious, their hearts and their minds are already darkened, and whatever light that person may possess is gradually extinguished as the envy increases. Allah says in the Quran that we should seek refuge against those who cast evil suggestions in firm resolutions. There are people that talk to you all the time. And if you're not a discerning one, you don't listen carefully to not just the words, but the way the words are placed. Someone will make a positive assertion, but deep down in it is an evil suggestion. Each one of us have been victims of this, and some of us have done this. When you want to talk about somebody that you don't like, and you want somebody else to dislike that person as you have come to dislike them, but you don't want to come straight out and say, that's a no good so-and-so. So you make a firm resolve that sounds so harmless, but in it is an evil suggestion. For instance, I was downtown the other day, and I just happened to go by the Federal Building. And guess who I saw coming out? And then they name a person. What? I've always been somewhat suspicious that this person is an agent, or now that's a seed. You may say, well, I don't really think so. But then when you see that person, and they may not be feeling well that day, and they may not even speak because there's so much on their mind. A seed dropped so skillfully, you could never accuse the person of saying, they just said, I was by the Federal Building and I saw so-and-so coming out. Looked like they were coming from the floor that the FBI office was on. Terrible. And how many of us fall for that? I seek refuge in Allah, not only from the person who casts evil suggestions in a firm resolution, but I seek refuge in Allah from the evil of the envier when he envies. Now it ends with that envier, because that is what is happening in the world today. That's what has our people upside down today. That's right. It is envy. Now look, this psychologist wrote as disappointment grows and as ambitions and desires are thwarted, social conditions are ripe for a destructive epidemic of envy. The all too human emotion defined by Webster's dictionary as the painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, joined with a desire to possess that same advantage. But it's painful for you to see somebody with something that you yourself want. Now, brothers, you may be talking to a certain girl, and you've let your emotions get carried away. You're in love with the girl, but the girl don't seem to feel the same way. She's talking to your friend. Now, ain't that a kick in the face? Now, the more you look at the girl, the more you like the girl, the more you want the girl, the less the girl pays attention to you. Then you begin to look at your friend real strange. Y'all grew up together, you all went to school together, but now something is growing in the heart. Y'all walk the street together, and you hear him talking about this sweet little girl, you know what I mean? And every time he talk about it, you grit your teeth and act like you. And pretty soon you begin to hate him. Because it's like he's taking something from you. It could be jealousy. But jealousy is born out of love. But envy has its root in hate. Now look, this writer says, envy is not a gentle emotion. Envy is not a passive emotion. Once you envy somebody, you gotta act. It's heavy. Envy is aggressive. Not only do I want what you have, and I want you not to have it, I want to take it away from you. And if I can't do that, I'll spoil or destroy it or you. On television today, they were talking about young black people killing each other over sport jackets, over certain kind of shoes, sneakers. Man, somebody walk up to you and you got LA Gears on. Or Reeboks. And he said, well, I like that. He don't like it for you. He likes it for him. All right, nigga. Take off them sneakers. You look at him and say, hey, man, what you talking about, man? He pulls out a gun. He's serious. And not only will he take your shoes, he'll kill you for resisting. There's a Muslim brother in Detroit last week, looking sharp, had a nice coat on, standing on the corner, getting ready to take a bus. Somebody walks up to him with a gun and said, look, I want that coat. He said, man, you must be out of your mind. He turned his back to walk away from the man. The man shot him
twice took the coat. Luckily, the brother is alive, but he's damaged. But he just came out of the hospital, and hopefully he'll be all right. Envy. An envious person is the worst kind of personality. As Muhammad says, for they will kill you. I'm getting to something. Jealousy is unlike envy. Jealousy is based on love and focuses on possessing the loved object and removing the rival. But envious people, their envy originates in hate and can be all-consuming, even murderous in intensity. Envious people live in a perpetual state of anxious, competitive comparison, focusing on what others around them have and what they themselves lack until they make themselves sick. All right. This is why our houses and our communities are so destroyed, because we envy and we refuse to give credit where credit is due. Cain and Abel were brothers. Abel pleased God with his offering. Cain offered too. But because God did not accept Cain's offering, Cain became envious of his brother. Listen now. Envy grew to hatred. Hatred grew to murder. So Cain decided, I'll murder my brother. The Quran said his hatred made it easy for him to murder his brother. Now, I don't think it's an accident that the word able has to do with the word ability, capable. And the more you think like Cain, the more you kill Abel. Now, listen to me. Cain and Abel are not necessarily two brothers from the same womb. Cain and Abel are two possibilities in the same human mind. Out of your mind, you offer. Cain was willing to offer from the ground. Abel was willing to offer life. God accepted the offer of life and rejected corn from the ground. He wanted Cain to know something about what pleases him. Yes, sir. It don't please God that you sacrifice corn on the altar or some material thing. What God is asking is, give me your life. Yes, sir. And if you give me your life in return, I will bless you. But if you try to give me offerings that is easy to give, corn, hell, you didn't grow it. You plant the seed there, it grow. You take some corn and put it on an altar and give it to me. Well, that's nice. But that ain't about where it's at. All right. Excuse my language. So Cain offered, Abel offered, I think it was a sheep or some living thing.
Yes, sir.
And from that Genesis, it grows till you get to the New Testament where Jesus comes. And Jesus makes the perfect offering. He offers his life. That's what God wants. He don't want you holding back, thinking that you can buy your way into heaven with $1 or $1,000 or $10,000, because the scripture says it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. A rich man would give his riches, but himself he holds back. The greatest gift you can give to God is the gift of obedience of your will and submitting your will to do his will. Then you have given it all. And when you give that to God, God accepts and rejoices and blesses. Now the Cain of self. Every time you get ready to give of yourself to God, the Cain of self tries to interfere. And every time Cain wins, you lose your ability to see, to think, to plan, to foresee. And that's why the righteous, the vision of the righteous is limited, because their wickedness have crushed their ability to see. So they have eyes, but they can't see. Am I making myself clear? Now, right within your own self community, there's a battle going on. And these two opposite poles, the spiritual and the carnal, are at war with each other.
Yes, sir. Bring it home.
And if the carnal is able to kill the spiritual, then the spiritual power is no more. You have no more spiritual ability to rise above the grave of your body. So your spirit is lost and buried in the flesh. And this flesh becomes your grave. You live for this. You can't ever grow beyond this. And that's why white folk are so sick. Because their mind is buried in their flesh. So they can only see white. I'm better not because I am better. I'm better because I'm white. That's a sick, diabolical mind that's buried in the flesh. See, when your mind is resurrected, then you can see beyond the flesh.
Yes,
when your mind is resurrected, you see spiritual things.
Yes,
and spiritual things are always greater than the carnal things. And that's why the scripture said the fruit of the Spirit is love and peace and long suffering and patience and all of these wonderful characteristics. But the fruit of the carnal mind is envy, enmity, strife, jealousy. See, all of these things show that your ability, you've lost your ability, because the Cain side of self is offering flesh but won't submit the will to do the will of God. Let's go on.
Yes, sir.
What time is it? 9:15. Can I have a few more minutes? Thank you. Now look. Saul was the king. David was a little boy. David didn't know he was going to be king. David felt he was going to be a great man. Saul was the king. The people wanted Saul as the king, and he was the first great king of Israel. But as David began to grow, people begin to watch the exploits of David and praise David.
Saul has killed his thousands. David his tens of thousands. When Saul heard the people praising David more than him, he became not jealous, but envious of David. David was such a faithful servant. Saul had a son named Jonathan. And Jonathan loved David. They got along well. And Jonathan told David that Saul didn't like him. Saul used to play music for David and calm him and rest his mind. But David got so jealous. Saul got so jealous of David. One day he threw a spear at him, tried to kill him. And David knew it was time to hat up. And David said, "I'm out of here." And he went on up in the hills. But to prove the kind of man that David was, David slipped back into the camp. Saul was asleep. He could have killed Saul, but he loved his king. And he took Saul's, I think, knife or sword and stuck it near his clothing, just to show him, if I wanted to kill you, I could have done that. But I love you. I don't want any harm to come to you. But do you think that changed the heart of Saul? No. It intensified his hatred. He couldn't rest until David was dead. But God was with David.
Yes, sir.
And David ultimately replaced Saul. Saul kind of knew that David was going to be king even before David knew it. And he wanted to kill David because he didn't want David to take his place. Isn't that something? Now we could go on. There are stories like this all throughout the Bible to tell you what envy will do. Now Jesus had 12 disciples. And he said, I got 12 of you, but one of you is what? A devil. An envious person is the worst kind of person because they will kill you, they will betray you into the hands of your enemy to see you in an uncomfortable position because they hate you not because you're bad, but they hate you for being who and what you are because they want to be that themselves.
Come on.
And they're not happy with you being that. They want that for themselves and they want to take it from you. And if they can't take it from you, they will kill you so that you cannot exhibit that quality. Did you know that Judas was that kind of person? Here's where it slips out. There is not a man that does not want to be loved by women except that maybe he has a little problem. But every man likes to know that the opposite sex, come on, likes us, right, brothers? I mean, is that natural or what? Hey, now how many of you have ever taken your wife to see Michael Jackson? And Michael go to cutting up, I'm bad, you know it. Boy, and she start going, you say, sit down. So if you want to enjoy yourself, sometimes you better go by yourself, because
Don't no man like to hear his woman screaming over some other man. Am I right, brother?
Yes, sir.
So you got to learn that if you like, what's that fine brother that sings? Luther Vandross. If you like Luther, be cool. Don't swoon around your husband when Luther playing now, because he's already insecure. And you may find every Luther Vandross record in your house broken. And that's a start. He's going to break your neck after that. Seriously, no man wants you to give your attention to another man. That's out. Am I lying, brother? He's made like God. God say, the Lord thy God am a jealous God.
That's right.
I don't want you, Israel, to have another God beside me. That's it. That's the way a man is when he love a woman. He don't want that woman looking at nobody. Am I lying, brother? Now, when a woman starts looking, stretching her neck, the brother want to take the neck off, and vice versa. She's that way too now. Right, sisters? See, God just put this thing in us. Now, what we got to learn to do is control. Man, when I was younger, I am glad my wife ain't here so I can tell this one. I mean, my wife is a fine woman, you know that. And, you know, when we were younger, I mean, she's fine now. Finer. But in that day, certain other characteristics, which I ain't talking about. But anyway, before I was a Muslim, you know, we men ain't got too much sense. We buy our women these fine clothes that accentuate the positive. And then we take our fine wife that we have paid for her clothes and duded her up. She looking fine. And you take her to a place where I was playing at the time in the nightclub. She's sitting on the bar stool, I'm singing. But I ain't blind. I got my eye on what is mine. And I see some dude oozing and easing up next to my wife. I'm singing, but I ain't digging this, you know. You talk about a man about to go crazy. And look like she was liking this attention, you know what I mean? My set was supposed to be 40 minutes, I cut it. I had to get down and see whether what I was looking at was altogether what I was seeing. And I remember my action. I really acted the fool that night. Because I was threatening to whoop her, you know what I mean? Now, she might have won that one, but I still felt I should make the threat. My wife knew I was serious, boy. But the point is, no man wants another man to be loved by his wife. Now I become a Muslim. I know that Islam is the right way. My teacher was Malcolm X. Now anybody that came along in those days, if you know Malcolm, Malcolm was a powerful black man, unmarried. So all the sisters dug Malcolm, including the married sisters, because he was the example of the man that we were trying to become. Now, brothers, here's where control and intelligence and balance comes in.
Yes, sir.
Shut up. When your wife sees a developed model of a man, what she really loves is the model. That's all it is. That model is what she hopes and knows that her husband can grow into if he stays the course. But if we get all bent out of shape, honey, I think we ought to go to the church. I ain't coming back to this place no more. What's wrong? My wife seen a model of what God has put in her heart to love before she was born into the world. This is God's woman. And she's born into this world to love God. And when you and I grow into a receptacle in which is the wisdom and the spirit of God, your wife will love you. She can't help it. But you got to keep growing into that. Not envying the teacher who will make you into that because your wife seems enamored or loves that. She's in love with the ideal that she believes is in the person. I love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and my wife loved him. And my wife loved Malcolm, and I loved Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
She couldn't beat me loving Malcolm.
All right.
And she couldn't beat me loving the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Come on.
My leader and teacher was more man than I would ever be. But as long as I loved him,
Yes, sir.
and was not envious of him, then I could grow into him. Do you understand? All praise is due to Allah. Now, that Judas saw Jesus, and this woman taking ointment, putting it on her hair, and using her hair and the ointment to anoint the feet of Jesus. Now, I don't know how things were 2,000 years ago, but just imagine a fine-looking woman with long hair, and she takes her hair and puts ointment on her hair and uses her hair to anoint the foot of Jesus. Judas is standing by looking. Now inside he said, damn, I sure wish he would do my hair like that or my foot like that. But he don't want to say to Jesus, hey, Jesus, I like her too. So he says to Jesus, he don't even talk to Jesus, he talks to the woman. He said, look, why are you taking that expensive ointment, rubbing it on his foot? Don't you realize we could have taken that ointment, sold it, got 300 pence, and given it to the poor?
Check it out.
He used the poor as though he cared more for the poor than Jesus.
Come on.
Jesus said, oh, Judas, the poor, will always be with you. I'm only going to be with you a short while. Leave her alone, Judas. She's doing this against the day of my burial. Something about woman. She seems to sense and know when a man is in trouble. I learned this from my daughter, Holiday. She was 1.5 years old. But even at that tender age, that child could sense when her father was troubled. And she would walk up to the bed where I was laying, thinking of some problem that was involved with the mosque. And she would come over and just pat my chest. And I looked at that girl and I said, I said, it's all in the woman. She can't help herself. She's born to console the man who works for God. She's born to console the man who gives his life to God. And brothers, if you want a woman to love you, you gotta stop being a nigga. Understanding that when we live for the higher power, this woman is created by God to serve you when you serve the higher power, and she does not think it beneath her dignity as a woman to serve a man who is trying to serve God. I'd like to close this subject. Joseph had a dream that the sun, the moon, and 11 stars, I think it was, bowed to him.
Yes, sir.
His father told him, don't tell your dream to your brothers. But he shared his dream with his brothers, and his brothers became envious and conspired to kill him. Beloved, have you ever wondered why the Jews are so angry with us and with Louis Farrakhan in particular?
Come on.
I have never asked any with me in private or in public to do one thing evil to any man.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's 100% right.
These that are with me would never desecrate a synagogue.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Not one.
No, sir.
Why then am I so hated that I would say to the Jews, look, any of you that wish to sit down and dialogue with me, I'll be glad to talk with you. And the Jews say, it's phony.
That's what they say. That's serious.
we will always sit down with former anti-Semites who have repudiated their hostility and hatred toward Jews. But Louis Farrakhan has not passed that test.
Right.
I mean, look at the arrogance of a people who have continually crushed us.
Right.
And we have not made any precondition
That's right. Talk to us.
to sit down and talk with them, but they now want some precondition. They act by me as they act by the Palestinians. They stole the land from the Palestinians. And now don't even want to sit down with the PLO to work out a peace.
Right.
See?
Yes, sir.
What's at the core of it?
Come on.
If you look in this Bible and in the Quran, but more in the Bible, the Jews hated Jesus. I mean, it wasn't disguised at all. They hated him. And the Jews hated Paul. They didn't disguise it in this book. Did they?
No, sir.
Why did they hate Jesus? Because they thought more of themselves than they should. Jesus pointed out their hypocrisy, their wrong, and gave them a way to come up out of it. And instead of thanking him, they hated him, then sought to kill him. I read an article today by a Jew in a Washington paper who said that if there was a taxi cab that he knew was going to hell, he wouldn't even move his finger in words. He wouldn't move his finger to call a taxi for me, even if the taxi was taking me straight to hell. Now that's hate. He don't want hell for me. He wants something worse than that. So he wouldn't even move his finger to call a taxi for me to get in it, even if the taxi is going straight to hell. Now, brother and sister, if that ain't hate, it'll have to do till the real thing comes along. But that's hate. But why do they hate me? It is because they know that we have that which will supplant their power and their rule.
Yes, sir.
And just like Saul
Yes.
hated David because David was to be the new king,
Yes.
Jews know that you
Yes, sir.
and we
Yes.
are going to be the new rulers in that which God makes new. And it just galls them and grits them when a man comes along that will preach that truth, that will set you free and put you on top.
Yes,
so
sir.
now they're gritting their teeth because they are being replaced. Envy makes you the worst kind of person, for the envier will what? Murder you. But that's not all. I have some brothers
Come on.
who say they love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right.
But they hate me.
Come on.
They call me a hypocrite. They call me a deceiver. They call me all kinds of evil names. But God blesses me.
That's right. That's right.
With the ability
Yes.
to do what none of them
That's right.
are doing.
That's right.
Why don't they have the ability, since they had it when he was here, but they don't have it now? It's because the Cain in them is killing their ability, and what is rising up in them is envy, because I have what they think belongs to them. I have what they want for themselves, and so their envy is not passive, it is active, it is aggressive, and therefore they want to take it from me.
That's right.
And so they plot against my life. It's true. There are those in the Islamic world
That's right. Listen.
that know how important America is
Right.
to the whole movement of Islam in the world. They know that America, if America turns to Islam, America will revive the whole world of Islam. But they want Islam to come from white people and not from black people.
Yes, sir.
And then if it comes from black people, those black people must be under their control.
Right. That's right. Yes, sir.
Some of our Muslim brothers feel that they've made a Muslim only when they make the Muslim in the image of themselves.
Right. That's right.
And if there's one among us who is a Muslim but refuses to be made into the image of an Arab or the image of a Pakistani
Right.
or the image of some other Muslim,
Right. That's right. That's right.
then they cannot stand that man being successful. So the thought is, kill him.
That's right. That's right.
So the Jews want him dead.
how do you want him? Who do you want? Farrakhan. How do you want him? Dead.
See? That's the Jews. But my brothers are singing that same tune. The government singing that same tune. What have I done? They see a wisdom
Yes.
from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad
Yes.
that you are listening to.
That's right. That's right.
And I, whom my brothers want to kill, have nothing in my heart but good for them.
That's right. That's right.
Abel said in the Quran, I will not raise my hand against you. And I have not taught one around me to raise their hand against their brother, except in self-defense.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I seek refuge in Allah from the envier when he envies. You are becoming a beautiful community. Just look at yourselves. I wish you could see you like I'm looking at you. You are beautiful. And the more you stay under this word, the more beautiful you will become. And the more you learn to cast off the disease of the heart of envy, knowing that your God didn't give somebody else and not give you also. And believe me, each one of us have something to bring to this great work. And the more you uproot envy by retaining God in your consciousness, you will find your community coming together stronger, tighter, more beautiful, and able to resist any force that will come against us. And so as I leave you, brothers and sisters, I am putting before the government of the United States of America the program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because it's time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right.
They don't have any solution for
Right.
us.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And I'm saying to the government, we don't need to live on welfare.
That's right. That's right.
Brothers, you getting a welfare check. Sisters, you getting a welfare check. I mean, we gotta live. So if you're getting one, I'm not condemning it. But I am saying that welfare, if you turn it around, means farewell, you know?
That's right. That's right.
It means bye to the spirit of self-determination.
Yes. Yes.
It means so long
Right.
to the spirit that God gives to every human
Right.
being, and the duty that God gives to every human being to do something for self.
Yes, sir.
It makes you a slave.
Yes, sir.
Welfare,
That's right.
farewell.
Make it plain.
Look at the homes that you live in. These apartments, they're substandard. Very few of us have a home. Most of us live in apartments, and we're lucky to get through the winter. We have to put plastic up on the windows. We have to burn little space heaters. The gas company, the oil company, the electric company, they gouge our eyes out
That's right.
during the winter to keep warm.
Right. Yes, sir.
Why should we live like this? When our fathers worked for 300 years to
Right.
give America the wealth that she has.
That's right. That's right.
When we built the country, listen to me good now, and then fought, bled, and died to keep it,
Tell it.
and still don't have
That's
anything,
right. That's right.
they took tax dollars,
Yes, sir.
money that belongs to us, and they rebuilt Germany.
Built Germany. That's right.
They took money that belongs to us. They rebuilt Japan. Now Japan is #1 in the world, but we still in the ghetto. Nobody gives a damn about us. This gotta stop. So I'm saying to them, look, we don't want welfare.
That's right.
Just give us what you owe us,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
and we'll make it.
That's right.
Now they're giving it to the Japanese.
That's right.
How long were the Japanese deprived? Only 4 years. They took away all the Japanese property, put them in a concentration camp for 4 years, and they're giving the Japanese billions of dollars.
That's right. That's right.
Wasn't but a few thousand of them. But it's millions of us, not for 4 years, but for 400 years. Then on top of that, every time we got a leader that would help us, they killed him.
That's right.
They got to pay for this.
Yes, they do.
One way or another, they got to pay. And so we have to understand what Brother Farrakhan is asking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right.
Brother Farrakhan is not saying all black people, let's jump up and go back to Africa.
Right? Make it plain.
No, that's too easy on white folks.
Yes, sir. Tell it. Go ahead.
No. We built this.
That's right.
That's right. Go ahead.
This is as much ours, if not more so, than these second generation and third generation whites who just got here. When they got here, they met us here.
That's right. Yes, sir.
We're not saying we all should pack up and go, but what we are saying is, look here, integration was a hypocritical trick.
Right.
You all know you never intended to reconcile the differences between black and white.
That's right. Tell the truth.
We fared better under segregation than we are faring under integration. Many of you in this room came from the South. Your parents came from the South. Oh, it was rough down there. But look, we had our own bus company.
That's right. That's right.
Our own hotels,
Yes, sir.
motels,
Yes, sir.
filling stations. Come on.
That's right.
We had our own insurance company.
That's right.
Segregation forced us to do something for ourselves. But the moment they said we could spend our money with white folk,
Right.
our bus companies folded,
Right.
our filling station folded,
right.
our hotels closed down, our motels closed down, our restaurants closed down, our insurance companies got weaker.
Right. Right.
We didn't gain.
No, sir.
The Jews gained.
That's right. Tell the truth.
The sissies gained. Women gained. But the black people who fought and died with Dr. King, the little black brothers who threw Molotov cocktails and lit up these cities,
Right. Right.
what did you get from it? You got nothing but your firebombs put black people on the newspapers, on television, in boardroom, and in white folk bedroom.
Right. That's right. Right.
And you still in the ghetto,
That's right.
getting worse off.
Tell it.
Somebody has to speak for that.
That's right. That's right.
And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told me, don't speak for some,
That's right.
speak for all. And so we propose this. That just like these white folks set up the state of Israel for the Jews, we are asking all those who had a part in bringing us to this condition,
That's right.
you got to help black people get up out of it. We didn't give up our right to Africa.
That's right.
When you kidnap somebody from their home and hold them in another place for some time, that don't mean they can't go home if they want to.
All right.
But if you keep me in a house and then you make me build a house, then fight to keep the house, then I recognize that I got a house of my own. Part of your house belonged to me, but I still got a home to go to.
That's right.
Look at this now.
Go ahead.
What I'm suggesting is that these white folk are putting our young people in jail,
That's right.
killing them, warehousing them, destroying them. I'm saying let all the prisoners go free. Look, we got 600,000 strong black men in jail.
That's right.
And some of you been there too.
That's right.
And you know you ain't no criminal.
That's right.
Come on now.
All right.
Brothers, if I ask you a question, I want you to be honest. How many of you have spent any time at all in the Cook County jail or in any jail? Would you raise your hand? Now let's look at this. Okay, thank you. Sisters raising their hand too. Thank you, sisters. What, would you raise them again? All right, thank you. Now look, if you spend any time in jail, now listen to me. Do you see yourself as a bad person? You see yourself as a person that never was offered the right chance, the proper opportunity. You're not bad people, brother. But you know the moment you go to jail and get a record, you keep on paying for the little jive crime that you did. Nobody wants to hire you because you got a record. Is that right?
That's right.
How many of you that have been in prison can't seem to find a job? Would you raise your hand? That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now, brother and sister, what time is it? 10 o'clock, gotta go. But what we're saying to white folks is this. We know the government got a plan to kill our people.
That's right. Keep telling us.
And we're saying to Pharaoh, look,
All right.
don't kill them.
That's right.
Let them go. If you don't have anything for them to do, you're not going to prepare a future for them, let them go and let us prepare a future for ourselves.
That's right.
We believe that on the African continent, there are millions of square miles of land that are unused. And what we are asking our brothers and sisters in Africa is, give us, your brothers and sisters in the Western Hemisphere, territory
That's right.
that is fertile,
That's right.
that has some mineral strength to it,
Right. That's right. Go ahead.
and an outlet to the sea.
That's right. Speak.
And let me be free. Don't hinder me
Right.
from teaching my people, meaning you,
Right. Right.
of the time and what must be done. You cannot hang around no more laying down on white people. You got to get up and do for yourself, or God will destroy you, because it's time. You are no longer to serve white people.
Right.
You got to serve yourself.
Yes, sir.
Now listen. Let me teach my people. And then we put it to a vote. How many would like to stay? And how many would like to go to build a new nation for our people? I'm not asking you to say anything right now. I'm asking you just to think
Right.
on possibility.
Right.
Now, all the Jews didn't leave from wherever they were.
That's right. That's right.
Some went to make Israel. And they made Israel a hope for all Jews.
Right.
Come on.
That's right. That's right.
Israel was a desert 40 years ago.
That's right.
But with some money and ingenuity,
That's right.
they've turned the desert
That's right.
into a paradise. Now look, Africa ain't no desert. They got plenty of desert in Africa, and we don't want nobody dropping us off in no desert.
That's right. Tell him, brother.
But look, wait, just listen to this. Look at what we've gained. Look at the knowledge that's among us. We are the most knowledgeable black people anywhere on this earth. That's the blessing of growing up in Pharaoh's house. We've learned all the arts and sciences of the world ruler. Now we can take it a step beyond with the knowledge of self. Now what I'm asking white folks to do, now listen to this. Give us the reparations that we are due. Okay? Let the prisoners go. Let them do their time building a new reality. You don't see them anyway. So how you gonna miss what's hidden away in a prison?
Right.
Now you sisters that ain't got no man, listen to me good. 600,000 black men that ain't got nothing but time to pump it up. And they in jail, buff down.
That's right.
Man, you let them brothers go. I know y'all gonna say, let me go too. Now suppose we got territory.
Right.
And we said to the government of America, okay, the money that you are paying to upkeep them in the jail, you give that to us plus what you owe us. And we gather all these knowledgeable brothers and sisters that don't have a job. Now don't tell me you can't move 500,000 black people, because we saw you move 500,000 soldiers from here to Vietnam. So we know you can move them when you want to move.
Check that out.
We know it can be done.
Right. Good point.
And look here, brothers. We go on in and lay the infrastructure and build us up cities and towns.
Yes.
And set up your flag.
Yes.
Now just feel it. Just feel it. Feel it. Feel it. Feel it. God, that thing feel good. If it ain't ready to leave Pharaoh, hey, we get dual citizenship.
Right.
You ain't got to renounce being a citizen here, because I told you they owe us as much on this side as we owed on that side, so we'll keep dual citizenship. So we can go back and forth across the Atlantic, you understand? But check it out. Just excuse me a minute. Let's go to Africa a minute. We're on the other side, and we got our own flag, brother.
Right.
That's right. Come on. We got our own, listen now, our own government. We're making laws now for ourselves.
Right. Talk to us.
Setting up our schools. We ain't got to teach George Washington. We teach our children that which makes them strong in themselves. We go to building, but we got to reform. And you see, when you're building for yourself, there's your reformation right there, man. You are not a criminal. And when you see the work of your hands building cities and towns, and you stand back and look, and this one is called so-and-soville.
All right.
Maybe your name. Let me just think about that. Name the towns after your heroes. We have to live in Chicago, New York. No.
Come on.
We in Garveyville. Look, man. Wherever you are, that's yours.
Right.
Walk on earth that belongs to you. And you know you got to have borders. And if you're going to have borders, you got to be able to protect your borders. So I just go to the government and say, look, we can't be in our own nation without the weapons to protect our nation.
Right. That's right.
Come on. And we already got 600,000 buffed out.
That's right. Yeah.
Men. And we got to have 600,000 buffed out sisters. Oh yeah, man, we got to have the weapons to protect our land, brother.
That's right.
And then we start moving in Africa.
Yes. All right.
Learning the language, and then taking this knowledge of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and moving until we create a United States of Africa. Till we, from the Cape all the way to Cairo, we make Africa strong. Now we got millions over here.
Right.
And you got 80 million or so down in Brazil.
That's right. Come on.
You got the Caribbean.
Right.
Come in.
Yes.
And now you got Africa. And we take the technology we learn from white folk. And we develop the gold and the diamonds and the iron ore, which whitey needs to become a master, then we trade. We're going to have our problems, but at least that's our problem. That we don't mind having to be independent. Then if the United Nations is still around, look at it. Then you send your ambassador to the United Nations.
Right.
You got a seaport, an airport. Mr. Pilot, stand up. Miss Pilot, stand up. Navigator, shipbuilders.
All right.
You need all of that when you're talking about building a nation. We have to build the infrastructure of Africa to tie every African nation together with railroads, brother.
Yes, sir.
So that if there's a famine in Ethiopia, Sudan got rich land, brother. If it's cultivated right, it could feed all of Africa right out of the Sudan. So when one part of our nation is sick, like it was when they had all that snow out here and it was killing the livestock, hay came from all over the country dropping here to feed the livestock. That's the way it's got to be in Africa. That's the way it's got to be in the Caribbean. There's hope for us.
Yes, sir.
We don't have to stay around here and die.
Yes, sir.
We got to have possibilities. And don't think it can't be done. It's better for them to think about doing that than to think about killing us all through disease, AIDS, cancer, drugs, gang warfare, putting guns in our hand to destroy one another. What you say? We got to go for it.
Yes, sir.
We got to go for it. So, I thank you. I thank Allah. I thank Allah for this day and for each of us and for the time that has brought us to this point where we are ready now more than ever to do something for ourselves. Now, as you leave here tonight, I want you to remember what you were taught. And I want you to look in your hearts and see if you feel something against your brother or sister because of something that they have that you want. And I want you to ask Allah tonight to help to remove that from your heart. And remember that you are not a righteous person. You're not a good person. You're not a Muslim until you want for your brother what you want for yourself. Until you want for your sister what you want for yourself. And what do you want for yourself? The best.
That's right.
So when you see your brother with it, know that yours is coming too.
Yes, sir.
May Allah bless you as I greet you in peace and thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Boy, what a message. If you have anything that you would like to share, go ahead and press the number 3 at this time. If you have anything that stood out to you that you would like to share, go ahead and press the number 3 at this time. Let's go to Sister Jamie.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm trying to get in first because I have to go because I'm at work. But I wanted to really deal and delve into this message because all praise is due to Allah. Thank you, Brother Ben, for sending this out yesterday and the what's it called? You sent from Brother Jabril the article because when I went into it, I didn't just went into it. I studied it and I wanted to understand it for the level of myself. So all praise is due to Allah because this message was so powerful and it helped me to put up my mirror. So I ended up asking myself, how do I guard my heart from envy and jealousy? And so I got to studying. Envy and jealousy is not put in check. It tells us that it can lead to division and spiritual decay. In Proverbs 14:30, it states, a heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy roterates the bones. And then as we know in our prayers, our Holy Quran teaches us in the Surah the Dawn, Surah 113:5, it tells us to seek refuge from the evil of the envier when they envy. So I had to understand this, not outside of self, but within myself. I couldn't look at nobody else. And I asked myself, what does envy look like in me? In its minute form, not on a big level, because to me, I don't feel that I envy or I'm jealous of anybody because I have security of myself. But God said, no, let's look at it at the minute level, the microscopic level. And I said, let me see what that looks like. What is it that discomfort me, or things that I dislike or have contentment with? So I had to pay attention to the whispers. Those whispers that come up in our mind. She got a new car. She thinks she all that. Oh, she's smaller, so she thinks she prettier than me, or she bigger than me. But how she get a husband? Or I look better than her, or I got a degree, so I'm smarter than this person. It's those whispers, Brother Ben. So I had to delve deeper into the recesses of my very mind and my very being, and says, okay, well, yeah, I got whispers. I may not show that I'm jealous, but I know I've had whispers. So what do I do about those whispers? And the word envy in Arabic means hasad. Which is a form of malicious envy that involves wishing for the removal of someone else's blessings. In Message to the Black Man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that envy is the mother of hatred, and that jealousy and envy among us is the one of our greatest enemies. The Honorable Master Minister Farrakhan follows it up, and he states that in order for us to unite, which is impossible unless we confront the problem of envy and jealousy and those internal insecurities, nothing outside of us, those internal insecurities must be addressed through self-development and discipline. So I'm learning, Brother Ben, to stay focused on checking those whispers of self, the whispers of doubt, the whispers of fear and insecurities, in order to overcome these malicious emotions, okay? So the minister also stated that in this message, he said, we must reform and rebuild. In order to reform and rebuild, we must practice gratitude for our blessings. Even if we don't seem as though they're blessings, we got to even say thank you, as Pastor Mike said, for the blessings that he took out of our life. We must uplift and support others' success. What's wrong with saying, sis, you look beautiful today? Sis, go ahead and get that. You did that. Man, that food tasted so good, man. It was beautiful. It brought us together as family. We must develop our self-worth and our self-awareness. Pray and be patient with our process. And that's all I had to say, Brother Ben. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Let's go to Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. I'm always honored to come behind our sister's comment. To really open up a lot there. There's so much in this message, and I hope that we are blessed to get as much as we can get out of all, or some of what the minister said. We won't be able to get all. I'm glad he went into why we are hated as a people, and at the root of that hatred is the envy of those ruling satanic Jews who want to don't want us to take our rightful place. I was thinking about, as he was going through the condition of our
You went out, Brother Daniel. We can't hear you. Can y'all hear him?
No, sir.
No, sir. He went out.
He went out, yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. My apologies, family. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'll be quick. I was just looking at the homicide rate, and I looked at some statistics. In 2022, we murdered about 13,400 and some people, almost 14,000 people was murdered. And the minister talked about how at the root of this is envy. Then he went in the Bible and showed a succession of envy, starting with the family of Adam, Cain and Abel. Then he went into the Jesus and these other examples of it. And he talked about how envy is just eroding. He said he eroded. Every organization that we had was eroded by envy. I thought it very important because envy is such a terrible disease. It's different from jealousy. Jealousy, he says, springs out of love. Envy springs out of hate. So you have a positive aspect of jealousy and a negative aspect. And he gave some examples on that. The thing about envy is that even if I don't readily see it in myself, wherever someone is able, we better believe that there is a Cain, an envious one, that's going to do something against us. So as Brother Ben opened up earlier, no need for surprises. It seems to me that in this world, if you're not envied, then it might mean we're not doing nothing. We're not able. So as we are trying to be able with Allah, God, and his two messiahs, that's good, but we better expect that there's going to be a Judith that arises, and it seems to me that envy is always someone who's close. He said that I don't care how much you try to love and show the envious person that you care about them, you can't do nothing about it. That says to me, don't waste time trying to change the heart of an envious one. They got to do that work with God themselves. We just have to continue to be able. And I heard what the minister said, that he gave the solutions to it. But we definitely have to have a God consciousness, and we have to talk to God because we feel like something was robbed of us that was given to somebody else. And he said that is a hatred for God. It's really a disease and a sickness. So I think this message was so powerful because we as Black people, we will make no progress with this disease lurking inside of us or those around us whom we are trying to build with. You can't build with an envious person. In God's own good time, he has to remove them from amongst us because the envious person is trying to murder. And if he can't get to you or him or her physically, he's going to do it, or she, spiritually. So this disease evidently is a purification for the righteous, because we would have to seek refuge in Allah to against the envier. So a lot in this family. I don't want to go on any further, but I would just say this. We are so blessed to be in the position that we are, to be able to be made able persons to build this wonderful kingdom. And none of us can do it by ourselves. We're going to need the ability of each and every righteous person to work together. And when we see that ability, that able part of that person, exalt it, love it. Give all praise to Allah for it, because it's absolutely for our own salvation and the building of our nation. Thank you, Tom.
Praise be to Allah. I researched where else the minister mentioned envy, and I found in study guide number 17. The minister says, quote, at the root of the lies and murder plots against Jesus, Paul, Peter, and Muhammad was envy. Envy arose in the hearts of the political and spiritual leadership because one was coming to replace their rule. One more favored in the sight of Allah God, one more pleasing and acceptable in the public eye. See, this is very key, especially in this social media era that we're in. See, because when you are part of a group, or you have a position of leadership, you begin to look at, well, man, he getting more likes than me. She getting more comments than me. Now here comes the comparison. You becoming envious. Why they like him more than me? Why they like her more than me? Then you begin to find yourself looking at yourself, thinking that you're less worthy, thinking you got to be something that you're not. So if the spiritual leaders at that time thought that one was coming to replace them, they looked at one more favored in the eyesight of God. Well, today social media is a lot of people God. They looking to see who more favored, not in the eyesight of God. They looking to see who more favored in the eyesight of social media. Which one got the most likes? Which one got the most views? So the minister says, when one is an envier, he or she always sees oneself as more worthy of the benefit or favor. There it go. I'm better. That's the thought process of the devil, of Satan. I'm better. When you start having that thought process, this person isn't worthy. I'm better because, what did he say? I'm made of fire. They made of dust. That's the thought process that can be unraveled and can lead you into reflecting devil. So it says, always sees oneself as more worthy of benefit and favor than the person or persons to whom the benefit or favor has been given. The hatred that the envier feels, knowingly or unknowingly, extends to the giver of gifts. That's what make you devil. You contrary to the will of God. You really displeased and angry with the God, the grantor of benefits, the bestower of the favor. That's God. The brother or sister who's displaying the gift, that's just the vessel that the God is using. But you really have a problem with the God. The root of it is the God. So he says, I have put forth this study guide that we may not fall victim to history. Watch this piece, dispelling ignorance with knowledge can save the unwitting, dissatisfied from becoming part of the conspiracy. This is the key piece right here, y'all. He said, but those moved by envy and hatred cannot be turned aside with knowledge. Knowledge ain't enough. So if you're ignorant, okay, I can give you some knowledge because you just ignorant. You may just be that satisfied. Oh man, but the envy, that can't be turned aside with knowledge. He said, in the case of Judas, it was not the 30 pieces of silver that were important. We thought he betrayed him over 30 pieces of silver. No. He said it was not the 30 pieces of silver that were important. It was the envy and the hatred of the one he betrayed that moved him. Disappointment and dissatisfaction precede treachery. Two key words there, the double D's, and I'm not talking about what you're thinking. The disappointment and the dissatisfaction precedes treachery. Good God Almighty. So you got to check when we disappointed, because disappointment is going to come. You may be disappointed in your parents, be disappointed in your brother, be disappointed in your minister. Come on, let's keep it real now. Be disappointed with your captain, your pal. I don't like how they responded. What are you going to allow that disappointment to do in you? What does the dissatisfaction do in you? Does it cause you to become treacherous? So it's how we handle the disappointment. How do we handle the dissatisfied? And when we studied the teachings, it said that they went among the dissatisfied. They went and found those who was what? Dissatisfied, telling lies. Because if you are already dissatisfied, I can feed a seed that's in your head and I can water it and make it grow. Then all you need is the right circumstance for that seed that I done dropped on you because you was already dissatisfied. Boom, I got you. I can make you turn. Damn, that nigga told me they was like that anyway. Damn, that nigga told me they was hating on me. Then something happened and you dissatisfied. That thought, that seed that he dropped on you pops up straight to your mind. I knew these nigga was jealous the whole time. That may not even be the case. But you was caught in your dissatisfaction. You was caught in your disappointment. So we got to be careful of the whisper, of the slinking devil. It comes and then it hides itself again. It's wickedly wise. So we got to control that disappointment. Why should I'm going to disappoint somebody? I'm telling you right now, I'm going to disappoint somebody. I'm telling you right now, somebody going to be dissatisfied with me. So it ain't no news that you're going to be disappointed in somebody. That's life. We human beings. But man, what is that going to cause you to do? What can when an agent comes in, they looking for the dissatisfied. They looking for him, the one who display. I don't like that nigga be teaching. That nigga always act like it. Yeah, come on now. They listening for you what you're saying in the group chat. Let me see which one of these niggas really dissatisfied with the way the mosque is running. Let me see if I can turn them totally and make them go back. Yeah, let me make them go back to the church or something. Come on, man. So they looking to see. Let me see the posts. Let me see the tweets. You know, I can see the dissatisfaction in the tweet. I can see it in the Facebook post. I got one. Now let me just go drop a seed on him in his inbox. Man, you see how that, you nigga don't even say no goddamn real brotherhood, man. Come on now, come on, let's keep it real. Come on, this ain't no, hey man, come on, this a hospital. We ain't all right up in here. So we got to be aware of this or else we'll get caught up in it and find ourselves falling out and don't even know why, because the unraveling has taken place. He said, this is the minister again, very few persons can even imagine themselves in the place of such a wrenched individual as Judas. He said, but envy and hatred grew over a period of time. That's key, because you may not express it or really have it in you now, but it's just a little piece. If you off track, just a little measure, over time, that measurement becomes really big because you was off course just a little bit. You lost faith just a little bit, and that's all the windows say need. I just need a little window. Give me a little window so I can squeeze on in there. And then you find yourself, you still believe, but you like it's a little dissatisfied. And if you don't check it, if you don't deal with it, 3 years go down the line, it ain't just a little bit off, it's all a little bit off. Because you kind of at a diagonal angle. And if you at that diagonal, after a while, that diagonal may look like a whole left over time. So when we feel something, that's why we got to check it, deal with it. Like, come on, go on, deal with it. Find out what that person meant. Find out what that person meant. He may have had a bad day, but you didn't want to address it. Now you done let it. You done told yourself 50 stories in your head, and it don't even be true. Now it's bigger than what it even is. So he said, but envy and hatred grew over a period of time. He says no one is beyond the capacity to become a Judas. He said everyone experiences disappointment and or dissatisfaction at some time or another. He closed with this, but it is how we handle it that determines our direction. How we handle it is what determines our direction. So that's from the study guide, y'all. I just wanted to give y'all that. That's from study guide number 17, which is called Hypocrisy and Conspiracy from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Okay, let's go on to the next brother. Let's go to brother, who we got here? Brother Coach Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Thank you. Thank you for your service, Brother Ben, and then thank you for that piece in the study guide. That really opened me up, right? And so as you were speaking, I was thinking, look, it happened to me in this moment, Brother Ben, right? Y'all call it the whispers, right? And that's what it is. Sometimes I call it the noise, though, right? that noise, right? It's inside my head, but it ain't in the radio. It's right inside my head sometimes, right? So when you started to speak, right there in the moment, I said, well, why he speak before me? He ain't do that before Sister Jamie and Brother Daniel. Why he ain't call my name? And I know that's no reflection on you. That ain't got nothing to do with you, Brother Ben. Right? But see what's important, right? Because it's gonna happen, is that I'm able to identify it for what it is. Because usually it's based in my feelings, Brother Ben. Don't tell me I shouldn't feel how I feel. That's not what's important. I feel what I feel, right? I experience the emotion I'm experiencing. Feelings ain't always fact. It's just the fact that I'm feeling, right? But it's what I do about it. It's how I respond to it that's most important. That's what I heard in what you just said, right? So the noise sometimes, man, right? And most of the time it's riding on my feelings, brother, being in the moment. It ain't based on fact, man. The conflict for me, and I'm just talking about me, right? I hope I ain't the only one in here that has experienced resentments, but if I am, so be it, right? But I'll catch it, right? And sometimes we use the word little and subtle interchangeably, but they're actually different. So sometimes it ain't that it's little, it's just subtle. And Brother Ben just talked about the progression that it can have, because it comes out subtly. Then you look up 3 years later, and it's a major problem. That's because I didn't catch it early. I didn't identify it, right? Somehow, some kind of way, denial, right? And I've been around for a few 24 hours, Brother Ben, right? And I've recently identified that denial has been a companion of mine for a while. Denial, right? Some say denial is the acronym for don't even notice I am lying. Right? Lying to myself. It ain't you, Sister Jamie. It ain't you, Brother Daniel. It's what I tell myself. And the conflict, right, is not external, it's internal. It's what I'm telling myself versus reality. And a lot of times what I tell myself be feeling based. The other day when my wife and I had a difficult conversation, when I got off the phone, Brother Ben, I don't even want to share y'all with what the noise that was in my head. But look, Brother Ben, I couldn't turn the noise off though. I knew this crazy, just think, but I couldn't turn it off. I just had to survive my feelings, right? I didn't do nothing though. I ain't make no decision. I said, I ain't in no good place to be trying to make no decision right now. We talking about the self-awareness, right? And that's a tool that I see the study guys, right? Because I get to self-analyze. I get to self-examine. I get to self-correct. It's a privilege. It's a gift. Everybody don't get it. So I don't take it for granted, right? So as I'm looking at myself, right? How many of us, man, right? I'm guilty, right? But how many of us see the behavior of somebody else, and it may be inappropriate behavior or bad behavior or just plain out wrong, whatever you want to call it. You witness it and then take a look at yourself. How often do I do that, Brother Ben? Right? How often do I look at something somebody else doing, right, and then look at myself and I say, well, damn, I didn't did that too. Can't be too quick to judge them. I'm going to shut up after this. I remember I went to the cleaners, Brother Ben, and I was pulling up in the cleaners, and a young brother pulled up in the lot, and he parked across like 3 parking spots. That's how he parked. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at him, and I kind of, and when we jumped out the car, he said, hey, Unc, I don't like when they call me Unc sometimes, but I know it's a term of endearment. He said, hey, Unc, I saw the way you was looking at me when I parked, man. He said, listen, I'm just going to run in and run out real quick, man. And in that moment, right, I said, hold up, young bro. I said, you all right? I said, because I done did that kind of stuff too. I said, you a little bit better than me because I don't even apologize. Is that making sense? I think that was a good example of what I was talking about, the behavior of others, and then I have to take a look at myself. Because some stuff I don't do no more. But I didn't forgot, Brother Ben, and now here's somebody else coming along that got the same kind of behavior, right, that I used to do, right? But I didn't forgot that I used to do it, and now I'm looking down on them. Come on, man. I didn't forgot that I used to struggle with the same damn thing. So the self-reflection, man, is going to allow me the self-awareness, right? So I'll see the envy if it's there, right? Because I'm like you, Brother Jamie. I don't think I possess envy. I heard Brother Daniel get a difference, and I was glad you said that, because jealousy is, Brother Ben, you got them nice Air Max. I want a pair too. That's jealousy. It's my favorite shoe, Brother Ben, right? Envy is, oh, I don't necessarily want it. I just don't want Brother Ben to have it. I ain't never really got to that point, right? But I ain't exempt. I'm not exempt. I'm not exempt from becoming that. So it's a constant daily process of taking a look at myself, a constant daily process of self-correction, a constant daily process of self-awareness. I don't want to take up no more time. Sometimes, man, I can, boy, ooh-wee. Thank you, Brother Ben. I appreciate this. I needed this.
Praise be to Allah. Brother SJM.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So, I try to measure twice and cut once. Let me give you the greetings first. Assalamu alaikum to the family. Yes, sir. So, I try to measure. I measure twice and then cut once. So I think it over. I think it through before I think the wrong and perceive my brother or my sister the wrong, with the wrong information that I'm the input. Sort of like, the sister and the brothers was just, saying, you got to be very, very, very careful of how we perceive people as being, jealous or envious. So after a while, I just went through the, process, and then, the last year, and then, this is my first year in on the, after the class of 2024, 23. So this is, I walked that, then I came, and this is the second year since I've been, got my, finished the process. And so here we go. So I attained 2 awards, and I got to say all praise is due to Allah, but I attained 2 awards. One award meant a lot to me. I didn't even know I was going to win this award. I didn't have a clue that I was going to win this award for going out top fisherman. And with that being said, I really tried to, it was a lot of claps and a lot of cheers when you did the process, your first, and the group or the people that was clapping, when those awards came, the clapping stopped. I had to measure twice and cut once. Avoidance, I'm not looking for that. Praise be to Allah. I'm not looking for the good job, brother, or I'm proud of you. I'm not looking for none of that. I wasn't looking for it. But the distance happened. Then I started like, wait, why would, what did I do to my brothers that was clapping for me and cheering, and then kind of backed up after those awards? We came back from Chicago. So I'm really trying to be very, very careful how I think when I think about, I don't even want to think about it like that. But how do you stop giving the same love you was given before those were in my possession, given from the God, given from the brothers and sisters that gave you recognition, that recognized the work that was being done. And I hadn't even expected it. So people just start backing up, and not showing, greeting and nothing like that. I'm nervous because I don't even want to think the wrong thoughts about this, brother. I want to be real careful of how I think about, this type of scenario, because I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. The mission is not going to stop. It's already in me. Every time I get on this call and I speak, it's a mission. It's the mission. It's the mission. It's clearly in me. It's not on me. It's not around me. It's just a part. It's attached to me. So if I'm, we on the same mission, is to fill it up, get the people, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. But if it stops if it puts other things on, hey, we ain't been progressing. What happened to the communication? We all, we had this communication going, and that stopped. And when that stopped, the classroom kind of dried up a little. I'm like, wait, what are we doing, brother? I had to reach out, brother. We good? What? Oh, we good. I'm not gonna go no further than that. I got to leave that part alone. But it's only right that I leave that part alone. But I had to create that. Let me reach out and we got to get back on this mission again, brother. Let's go. Where y'all been? What we doing? So, I want to just, find a way to get the team back. Since it was no reason why we, the fire kind of went out on the teamwork, not individual work, but, I like the team. I like when it's teamwork. I like when we all putting it together because we got a bigger outcome than just one individual. I just happen to be the one they put it around the neck on. But I say it's ours. I say, I take it off and here, look at what we want. But it was like, but weeks later, I found out and I was approached that, man, I'm going to give me one too. I said, oh, okay, that's what it was about. I'm going to leave it right there, brother. I'm gonna help me right here. Help me. Go ahead.
Praise be to Allah. You need help with something specifically, or you were just saying, help me?
I'm saying help me because I don't want to think the wrong thoughts, but they addressed me later with, I'm coming for it. And I said, brother, it was already there before I got here. I just got here. It's for the taking. I kind of laughed at it. It's for the taking. Go ahead, brother. And I, shred it off because get to the middle. Let's focus, brother. I didn't say let's focus to more than one. Brother, can we get back focused again? We got a mission. Let's go get these people. We had we was attacking this, let's get them to the point where other people know, hey man, y'all in communication, what's going on? Y'all ain't, I don't know. So it's all, it's all love. I ain't ever stopped the love. I didn't stop the mission. It's picking back up, but it's something was brought to my attention that I wanted one too. And then the other one, I'm coming for it. Brother, it's right here. We can all win it together. So that's why I said, y'all help me with this. Go ahead.
Well, I just think that people handle things differently. People have past trauma, past things that I found that, they just handle things differently and they respond differently. I recently had a conversation with someone who grew up a certain way, and I didn't grow up that way. So, they grew up where if there's a problem, it's like, let's deal with it right now. I didn't. I grew up in a household where time was the conflict resolution, and there wasn't real conflict resolution. I grew up where there was no sit downs and talk it out. It was, you hungry, come get you something to eat. So although I'm at this point as a Muslim, no conflict resolution is important. It may my time period of wanting to do that may be delayed, although I may want to do it and agree with it, but give me some time to process, think about this. Let me sit down, get my mind together first. And so through that, the individuals, thought that, that's wrong in their eye. That's a flaw in their eyes. And my eyes is like, well, at the same time, it's still getting done. But, my mine is just delayed due to how I am, what's comfortable for me, my upbringing. In my mind, shoot, at least I'm doing, I grew up where it didn't even happen, But I guess what I'm saying is there's so many people, you just never know what's hindering them. You never know what they're dealing with. And sometimes things may appear to be personal that is not. It may be personal, but with them, it may be a them issue that we shouldn't even worry about. You know, as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, we have good intentions, we have the love, there's sometimes nothing we can do but continue to be and do what we're doing. That's all you know, that we can do. You just, I mean, just as dealing with so many people, thousands of people through coaching, through whatever, man, I just found that so many people have different vast backgrounds and realities that's not our or my reality. So what I would say, man, just it's like, no, it's super hard for them. It's super hard. Just like there's something that's just for them that may be super difficult for me, you know? So just, and I think that's why real brotherhood and, you know, real sisterhood is really about getting to know one another. The more we really get to know one another beyond who we are, the black man is God, the black woman is a God, and, you know, the Asiatic black man to make it on the cream of the planet Earth. You know, we know each other on that level. But do I really know my brother and what my brother been through? Do I know how he arrived here? Do I know why he's so passionate about this? Do I know what's his weakness? Do I know what he's failed at? Do I know what makes up his makeup? Because when I know what really makes him up, then when he reacts a certain way, I see it properly. Moses couldn't understand the wise man because he didn't have a comprehensive knowledge. He saw what he saw on the surface. He saw what his eyes saw, poked a hole in the bowl, killed the little boy. It's easy to make a judgment on that because I'm judging just what I see, but there's a comprehensive knowledge that I may be missing. And you know, the brother who spoke before said, man, I looked at the young brother and said, I used to do that. I'm coming into this reality, man. The more I do some therapy with myself, man, I've been doing some therapy, honest, with AI, you know, expressing myself, and AI been helping me reveal some stuff about myself, man. I said, ooh, that's deep there, boy. But look, even at myself, looking at how I respond and why I respond a certain way and why I run from certain things and why I react to certain things, it makes sense. Like, oh, my upbringing. Some of the things I wish I was better at, it ain't just, oh man, I suck at this. No, I have now learned to correlate it with something. Okay, that's the root of it. Okay, let's deal with it. So the more I discover things about me and why I react the way that I react and why I go to my room and I'm to myself and I'm like this and I may appear to be cold sometimes and I turn on this and I can turn off that and it's quick for me. I'm like, okay, it's not just it is what it is. That's just how I am. No, there's a reason behind it. And the more I dig in and I'm discovering the reasons behind, I'm really discovering me. Like, damn, how can I get to know another brother before I get to know me? I'm getting to learn me better. Like, boy, you messed up in some area, boy. Ooh, when chaos, I've learned that chaos is your norm. When you grew up and chaos is your norm, some things that may be chaotic to you, you take on it, you accept it when you probably shouldn't accept it. But as long as you got your little safe space, you cool because that was your environment growing up. Some people, toxic is their environment. So toxic is their norm. So to them, it seems like something is off and something is wrong if it's not toxic. To them, that's love. So you wonder, man, why they always starting something? It may be really out of love. Not understanding what true love is. But to them, it's my way of showing love. In your mind, you like, that nigga, that ain't love. But in their mind, when you see it from their perspective and you begin to understand how you may be like that, just in another area of life, you can have a different level of understanding. So I'm finding, man, the more we peel the layers back on ourselves, the more I peel the layers back on me. Oh, son, you wanted some love, man. You didn't have affection and love growing up. I can count on my hands how many times my parents have verbally said, I love you, and we say, I love you too. I can count on maybe some hand and fan, how many times we embraced, physically hugged. So when people begin to show love and you gravitate to it, oh, is that the little boy on the inside gravitating to what he wanted when he was younger? Some affection? Some love? Yeah, you doing. I know you love me because of what you did, but the emotion or the affection inside, oh, man, he's yearning for it. So I can see how that led to certain decisions that I've made. That wasn't good decisions. So when somebody now make a decision, I don't say, oh, that nigga, look at that nigga, I can't believe that. I can say, yep, I understand. I understand it. I can see what led you to get there, brother. I can see what led you to get there, sister. So the judgmental side can be removed because now I'm analyzing, I'm looking at me in the mirror. My mistakes, some of my shortcomings. Damn, boy, I can see, oh, okay. That's why you made that decision. You didn't want to do it. So a part of you saying, why am I doing this? I don't want to do. But then I got to locate it. Boom, there it is. Then I deal with it. So then if I know it's something that I'm still dealing with myself, I can look at my brother and say, oh, it got to be something. If the minister say we righteous by nature, wicked by what? Circumstances, what he said. He said He said by nature we are the righteous, but by circumstance we wicked. So what is the brother's circumstance? How can I say I really love this brother? I don't really know what the hell this brother done been through. I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't know you. How can we done heard the minister say several times, I got people around me, but they don't know me. They don't know me. You see me now. You don't see what I done really been through. He said, how can you love what you don't know? Don't even know ourselves. So if I don't really love myself because I don't know myself, how can I say I really love this sister over here just because she done joined the mob? Man, that's politically correct. I love you, man. You don't even know me, you just love me. What if I want to, in my mind, I really want to kill you? Talking about you love me. So, man, I'm just learning, man. As I'm getting older, man, and just looking into myself, seeing why I made certain decisions and how I came, and man, it just bring a level of patience. And I think that's why the minister, man, has been so patient with us, because he knows the condition that we in. He knows what we've been through because he's done such a deep analysis on him. That's why I love the minister. He's able to be honest about himself. Man, what man tells you, man, I hit Mother Khadijah, she hit me back. Oh, man, I wasn't even a man. She had to make me into a man. Look at a man that'll say that verbally. A man that'll say that publicly. When millions of people look up to him, he can be vulnerable and say that. That lets us know there's a level of man deep down reflection on himself. So when he see us, he's searching for the God. And that's what he said. He said, I'm searching for the God. Because I know how you are. You was made that way. But inside of you, God is in there. I got to get through the debris and the mud and go find the God and bring the God out of you. So I don't know if that's helping you or not. I don't know even how. I'm going a little deeper than I probably should have. But man, I just think that, the reflection side, it brings patience. And real brotherhood ain't just by, I join some, you join some, we both in it, it's cool, and man, praise each other. Man, when a brother really going through something, I'm talking about when it get tough, them tough times. Now a lot of us going through some tough times, and the minister ain't even gone yet. We say when he's gone, that 3 years, oh man, that's gonna be a hell of a trial. Some of us like, man, is the minister gone or something? These years been tough. Woo. So when you going through something, you really think you really finna be happy-go-lucky to help a brother who you really don't know? Now some of y'all maybe, some of y'all maybe. Maybe y'all listen to anybody, as long as they black you. But man, shoot. Some people, this little fake brotherhood, I don't know if this brother really an agent or what. We don't know each other. We don't know each other done been through. We just, just on some surface level. So mission, I think a part of the mission in doing this together is to get to know each other on a deeper level, on another layer. So when your brother fall, you don't judge him. I mean, I say this all the time. I know there's some parts where it says if a brother leave, you done already got. But I think about Brother Jabril, man. Now I know everybody ain't the minister, okay? So let me get that disclaimer. Everybody ain't the minister. But I think about, what if Brother Jabril looked at the minister and said, oh, the nigga turned hypocrite. I ain't going after him. I ain't finna write no letter to him. I ain't finna remind him of nothing. Nigga, turn. He met with the messenger. He knew the messenger. Now look at how some of us do our brothers and sisters. Look at how some of us do. Nigga fall out. Oh, you got all. Look at what goes on in our mind. Where would we be if he didn't go after the minister? If there was envy involved, and he said, yeah, I knew he would fall. Yeah, I stayed with the Honorable Elijah. We know Brother Jabril stayed with the. I'll live with him. I'm more wise than him. Why I gotta go get him if he's the one? See, look at the thoughts that could have been produced in his head. But no, man, that was a love. He knew, okay, yeah, he turned. He said he turned hypocrite. The minister said that himself. Well, Brother Jabril had to know something about his brother to know all I got to do is just go get him. Because there are those to this day that look at the minister's turn at that time and still crucify him for where he was at that moment. Today, they still do that on Facebook. So-called, I only follow the messenger followers. Well, the minister said, to me, that's more being a damn man than some of y'all who lost faith in some areas acting like he ain't lost faith. You say you got faith in how to eat the day. You ain't eating every once a day. You ain't eating once every other day. You ain't fasting every month. So hell, you lost some. Yeah, you ain't falling all the way to the T either. What is that? But to have a man say, yeah, I turned. Shit, I didn't know what to do. So instead of me taking over, I follow Wallace because what I did know, I didn't want to mislead the people. That's more honorable than me, man, being honest about that. So yeah, man. I'm gonna go and pass it because I feel like I'm on teaching all type of topics. Let's go to Brother Daniel. I done lost my point.
No, you didn't lose your point. You was on point, sir. A little tired. We so on point. We got to check with one of the brothers to make sure we on point. No, everything you shared, brother, was right in line. Brother SJM, I sent you a direct message, brother. Call your brother. I need some fishing techniques.
Okay, yes, sir.
and we got work to do. All you got to keep doing is doing the work. That's it. Be able. You can't concern yourself with whether somebody's positively jealous or whatever. So just keep doing the work. And brother like me who understand that this is our first work. I thank God that I'm not envious of it. Excuse me. Hell, I want to be better at it. And if a brother is doing it better than me, then I got enough sense to get a few pointers. Maybe I can get something in my repertoire to help me be a better hater and our sole purpose. If we lose sight of what we're here for, to get people in the house to hold, that individual thinking, I see that as feeding envy. Because you think you here for yourself? Somebody help get us in. Somebody use some technique, and a lot of people help get us in, to get us in. Brother Mill, I was thinking about something, and the more you spoke, I thought that this was important to raise. With the Willie Lynch piece, the enemy used envy to exacerbate the tensions between us. And I'm glad you raised Study Guide 17 as a point of reference, because this is the minister telling us how we can avoid either being unwittingly used by the enemy, who the minister said is working 100% to foster bloodshed amongst us as a people. This is the history of these people. So they are masters at using envy. They envious themselves, and they are masters at studying us. They have already done it. And see how they can take a force within and get us to be non-productive and acting the fool with one another. So we're going to have to understand that this thing is going on, and as Brother Ben pointed out, ain't no spook God doing this. Satan is real, God is real, and the enemy knows how to get a Negro to act the fool with his brother. It's not one of our leaders who was assassinated where envy wasn't at the root of it, and they always use somebody within. So we really have to check it within self. That force that the minister spoke about, Abel is within, and so is Cain. So we have to recognize that within self, and then once we master that force in self, we have to just understand that it does exist and move accordingly. So that's all, family. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Brother Roberto. Brother Roberto. Going once. Going twice.
I'm sorry. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I appreciate. I'm so thankful for you showing us the lessons, and also Coach Muhammad and SMJ and yourself. What you have spoken about. Maybe sometimes I myself was raised as an only child, but learning that I had, about my mother's history and knew little about my father's history, although he was a stay-at-home dad and taught me a lot, about character and not hitting a woman and protecting her, and if I'm hungry, go get something to eat, because he was the type, to notice when I was doing too little, too late. I always like to play instruments and make my peers feel comfortable, but sometimes there was things that was more important, and I needed to prioritize. And I felt that during my initial studies, because I was raised a Catholic, I went various years all throughout high school. I went to an affiliated school, and I might have seen an Orthodox Muslim student wearing their headpiece, or have connected with somebody that was just warning me. I wanted to touch on one of the last things Brother Ben said about the language that we use, because that intrinsic feeling, that sweat that we start to get on our nose when we think somebody's about to notice what our thoughts are, or when we think that we are not doing, we're not sufficiently communicating, but we are. Often that happens to a lot of people throughout our days. We're so busy going from point A, doing our daily things, that we might forget, sometimes to use our minds to connect back to that person that we are disconnected from. I feel that envy, that when we don't see somebody is playing us constantly, years of studying our ways and studying how some rewards are obtained in this life. We've got to be about the mission, or forget completely about turning towards Allah, God, because we're not. We've got to be redeemers. I feel like after we have put into our minds the mind of the Creator, and we're seeing through His eyes, and we're feeling what somebody else is about to feel, then we can see ourselves saying, man, I remember feeling like that, or I used to, I would do the same thing in that situation. But a lot of times, people that don't believe in a nation and argue that the Nation of Islam is a cult or a hate group, I have a problem really grasping how much change I can do in an argument, versus carefully selecting my words and working on and never forgetting about self, because once the second that I do that is the second that you know somebody smile, or something that somebody else has, the envy will overcome. And it's not the and one of the last things, jealousy is a comparison. But once it gets to where we're constantly using our lower selves to compare someone to ourselves, then we're not seeing not even the cause of a people's problem, because considering someone mentally dead, or someone just not competent to become independent, or be satisfied, because of their inability to see themselves in the light. Like Brother Ben said, our environment does play a role in shaping and molding our minds. And if we are the only ones to get the message, and we feel we have been redeemed, and at that moment we take steps and we strive to be redeemers, and we try to encourage others to do the same, because if as long as the nation to me exists, I'm gonna forever consider myself to be a Muslim, and I'm gonna try to do my best to daily just try to strive to articulate and speak whatever thoughts is on my mind, because sometimes it's in that second that the person is in despair and just needs to, or has been ignored, or maybe like Brother Ben said, we all have different backgrounds and we all learn differently. So how we articulate often really resonates. Sometimes just walking in a room, how we like when we were growing up, we looked like our parents, but now we look like our own mistakes, because now we can actually see ourselves developing more of a judgment of who we are. But as long as we continue to lie to ourselves, or that envy or lie keeps lying to themselves and saying, no, I don't envy this person, but yet I'd like them to lose this and this and this from, then that it is sometimes too little, not too little, because it'll just be too late, because of that argument. If I lose my mind, or I select the word that will put me in a position where I'm going to be told to believe something about my brother, or something about my teachers from the nation that doesn't sit well with me, then I'm gonna try to say as least as possible, but also get at shed light to the situation, because no matter how, at some point we've got to see the similarities in our brothers and sisters, not just want to be better than. But it's okay. It's as long as we strive to be better, we're always, like Coach Muhammad said, disappointment is bound to happen. And on the message from the Savior's Day, Brother Ismail said, disappointment is bound to happen. One of the things that has stuck in my mind, I might have went through life maybe over 30 years without, really thinking about being disappointed, because I felt like I always had this connection with Bond. But now, after focusing on self and seeing how much effort and action is required, besides going to the meetings and keeping up with the prayers and a lot is entailed behind becoming a registered member of the Nation of Islam. And I applaud anybody who's listening for the first time to continue to join Brother Ben and the Power Call community, and also I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to now say that, ever since I graduated college, I might have never picked up another book or had a job that reflected my background, but once understood why somebody's trying to pierce your heart, telling you the same things, then things can evolve, and the hurt will make you it won't make anything better, but it will definitely it will indicate whether or not we're being genuine with because if saying sorry might not satisfy somebody else's intention to do us harm. So no matter how sorry we might feel, some people have turned their way away from the belief of a God, and they want to take the nation out of it. They want to take God out of it completely. So we have always that divide between not only in religion, but we have had it only just amongst ourselves, because of how we were taught or whom we listened to when it came down to healing. But once we get to evolving and becoming that person who has been redeemed, and we like the minister Louis Farrakhan said, we put on that helmet of righteousness and that breastplate of armor. Is one of the first things that I heard after coming on to the Power Call, and I look forward every day to the testimonials part, and always wanted, I was very trying to be patient and trying to understand what I was reading from the Message to the Black Man. And I'm about on my third time reading that book in the last 2 years. So it's something that I definitely have learned to love. And thank you for Brother Ben. What stuck out to me about uprooting envy was love. Love is what's gonna uproot envy and jealousy and bring that kingdom to stay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Brother Ben.
Thank you for sharing. We're gonna close out, Brother Coach Muhammad.
Yes, sir, Brother Ben. Just a loving correction. I didn't tell the young brother that that's what I used to do. I was telling him I do stuff like that. Like I was speaking current. Right? See, so it's important, man, about the honesty piece that you talked about that the minister gave us, right? It's important for me to be able to do that, man, on a regular basis in practice, right? See, in my 33 years in the nation, and I ain't saying that to brag, I'm letting y'all know I've been coming around here long enough to know that I ain't been around here long enough, okay? So in that time, I ain't never seen nobody hand out no halos. Right? I just ain't experienced that. Maybe you have, but I haven't, right? So us being righteous don't mean I'm going to always be right. That's not what that's talking about. It don't mean I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you what I do. That works for me, and I've seen it work for others too, right? So sometimes in the moment, man, if I don't know what to say, I want to say the right thing. That's the place it's coming from, right? But I have to ask myself, and I do this, right? Because my ego, I hope I ain't the only one that got one, but I know I got one, right? That ego sometimes, Brother Ben, will snatch the mic in a moment. you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes I have to check myself, and I say, wait a minute. Does this need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? And does it need to be said right now? Because sometimes I can just be right and still be silent. Ego want to know who's right, but humility wants to know what's right. And so I have to always screen myself sometimes, right? To make sure that where this place is coming from ain't coming from the ego or from a form of self-righteousness, right? Because I hope we don't think that we exempt from self-righteousness neither. And so all I try to do sometimes, man, is wait. And I make the mistake sometimes. But Eric, I damn, my ego got the best of me, Brother Ben. Oops. It done got me, right? Now I'm in trouble, right? Ask my wife. Listen, we've been celebrating 29 years. She's my friend, man. You know what I'm saying? She's my friend. And I like that part, Brother Ben, when you talked about, man, listen, man. One thing I've learned that we have been accustomed to being very good at, and that's suffering in silence. Show up at the mosque, how you doing? Fine, sir, and I'm falling apart on the inside. But I don't feel I got nowhere I can go to tell nobody what's really going on, right? But listen, nobody reached for me, Brother Ben, but it's not y'all fault that I'm good at pretending. It's not y'all fault that I'm good at hiding some stuff. That's not y'all fault. So I had to learn, man, and I call it, listen, I got a network of individuals. Most of them are Muslims in the nation, but some are not. Male and female, who will tell me the truth about me. I call them my first responders, right? Because sometimes I don't have all the answers, man. And sometimes I don't know what to do. And sometimes what I'm about to do, even though I'm right, Brother Ben, I take another look. Take another look. Hold on. Do you got to say that right now? Do you even need to be the one to say that?
That's right, brother. Stay on the top. Yes, sir.
And then I go right back to an individual. I call one of my first responders and I run it across them. And I say, man, what you think about this? Blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, man, I ain't saying nothing at all because we didn't got in touch with the exact nature of what I was on in the first place. Self-evaluation. I see it in the chat. So that's really all I wanted to say for the brother who asked for help. You know, I don't know enough about what I'm not gonna, I had an individual, man, that called me, man. His wife had just passed 2 years ago, and he was still dealing with it. And I listened, Brother Ben, to what he was saying he was going through and what he was dealing with and how he felt about it, right? And then when he got done, he said, man, you got any feedback or any solutions for me? And I said, no, sir. I don't have that experience. My wife is still here. I don't know what that's about. I said, I think my job was just to listen to you. He said, brother, thank you for being all genuine and not just assuming a role. This is what he told me. Thank you for just being genuine and not just assuming the role. I said, wow, I didn't realize I did that. Sometimes, man, that's all people just need to be heard. Most of the time when you listen to people, they'll talk themselves right into a solution. Okay, that's all I got.
Talk themselves into a solution. That's good. Well, praise be to Allah. Thank you all once again for coming on your power call. I hope this was an edifying, uplifting power call. For those of you all who would like to support and donate to your power call, here's the link inside of the chat for those who would like to support. and keep this thing going. We will not have a power call. I will be traveling tomorrow, so pray for a safe takeoff and a safe landing. I will be traveling today, so I will not be doing a power call tomorrow. We will be probably following back up on Thursday. So Thursday is when we'll pick back up on the power call. I have to travel somewhere. So we'll be back, inshallah, 8 a.m. Central Time on Thursday. So let's go over the replays, check out some of the replays. I know we're striving to take notes when a minister is speaking, but shoot, y'all know when we taking notes, he's saying, I don't know about y'all, but when I'm taking notes, I'm like, dang, he just said something else. Or sometimes y'all see me rewind. I'm like, man, shoot, I'm taking notes on there. He done said something else. So, we don't think because we listened to it one time, we caught everything. So use this time, man, to, go back on some of the replays and, catch whatever you couldn't catch, man. And inshallah, we'll see each other on Thursday. So thank you all for coming, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Assalamu alaikum, and have a blacktastic day.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.